Keelan Song reading at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville at the University Bookstore, and I'll be reading from a separate piece by John Knowles. I started the long trudge across the fields and had gone some distance before I paid any attention to the soft and muddy ground, which was dooming my city shoes. I didn't stop. Near the center of the fields, there were thin lakes of muddy water, which I had to make my way around, my unrecognizable shoes making obscene noises as I lifted them out of the mire. With nothing to block it, the wind flung wet gusts at me. At any other time, I would have felt like a fool, slogging through mud and rain, only to look at a tree. A little fog hung over the river, so that as I neared it, I felt myself becoming isolated from everything, except the river and the few trees beside it. The wind was blowing more steadily here, and I was beginning to feel cold. I never wore a hat and had forgotten gloves. There were several trees bleakly reaching into the fog. Any one of them might have been the one I was looking for. Unbelievable that there were other trees which looked like it here. It had loomed in my memory as a huge lone spike, dominating the riverbank, forbidding as an artillery piece, high as the beanstalk. Yet here was a scattered grove of trees, none of them of any particular grandeur. Moving through the soaked, coarse grass, I began to examine each one closely, and finally identified the tree I was looking for by means of certain small scars rising along its trunk, and by a limb extending over the river, and another thinner limb growing near it. This was the tree, and it seemed to me standing there to resemble those men, the giants of your childhood, whom you encounter years later and find that they're not merely smaller in relation to your growth, but that they are absolutely smaller, shrunken by age. In a doubled emotion, the old giants had become pygmies while you were looking the other way. The tree was not only stripped by the cold season, it seemed weary from age, enfeebled, dry. I was thankful, very thankful that I'd seen it. So the more things remain the same, the more they change after all. Nothing endures, not a tree, not love, not even a death by violence. Changed, I headed back through the mud. I was drenched. Anybody could see it was time to come in out of the rain.